Another day. Another day. Started already an hour ago, so we're just gonna go right back to it. Noticing I'm actually never using this. But that I need to, honestly. Whatever. Just looked out the window because I had to stretch myself, because I had to stretch and just, get up. And I remembered when I went out on Wednesday to see a friend. By the way, I smoked the shit out of him in Smash. Very funny. But I got up and I looked out the window and I saw people walking by. It was like teenagers and stuff. And that's when I remember, damn, they start school again. They started school on the 17th. I didn't know. And when I went outside, like when I walked out on Monday to see my homie, and it was like 5, and I was just looking at my school because I live next to it, and I saw all these students, like all these people, and I thought, is there like a ceremony or something? Is this like an introduction opening day thing? But school starts like the coming week. I didn't understand, and I kept wondering, like, wait, did school actually start? And it did, because I saw some headlines, like national news and stuff, which said that school started again. How the fuck is school starting again? You know how hard it is? I have my fan on every time. I was so... I don't know, I was so shocked. It made no sense to me. Like, honestly, I don't know, like, they could have waited a week or so, because I was used to starting school, like, near the end of August, which meant nothing to me back then. Like, the idea of starting in August was kind of annoying, but it would be like a week where practically nothing would happen. They would just introduce the subjects, and eventually the coming week you would actually start lessons and things would get a bit more serious, But bro, it's mid-August. That's crazy. You have kids going to school before I even finish this project. Matter of fact, I'm not even finishing this anytime soon. More or less. Well, after I'm done with this, I have all this left, okay. Fuck, bro. Yeah, it's mind-boggling. It was pretty mind-boggling to me. I didn't realize that some people already started. Even at my art school, apparently some people started. I had a friend texting me, how was my first day? I was like, what do you mean first day? Very strange times we're living in. I'm starting like next month, less than next month, which is weird to think about, if I'm being honest. But it's kind of annoying because it's like once I get this project done, I immediately have to log into school again. Plus, in a new environment, once again. Pretty annoying. Oop. Like I used to think things would go bad, or I just simply did not let myself persuaded by that thought process. And weirdly enough, it just made me more confident. And turns out I had spent pretty much one of the best years, I'd low-key say, in my life. Like, everything felt very different, especially with the people I got to meet, I got to hang with. how authentic I became, all that stuff. Very worth it. So I doubt that it's gonna go the opposite direction this year. You never know what's gonna happen. Maybe people will be less open this time around. Who knows? Happens sometimes, but I can't let that slide. I can't go to a place that's very far away from my home and then be annoyed to be there. It's like going to work. Like when I was temporarily employed, let's say, I just did what one told me to do in a way, because I wasn't there to like make acquaintances. Like there are people that are like pretty much 15 years older than me and stuff, and I can't really go out of my way to be like cool with them. You feel me? Might sound a bit antisocial, and I can't have conversations with them, but it's like I don't feel compelled to socialize all that much. Depends on the people. Like some people are cool, but I'm not. Like I can't understand how this works. You know, the fake smiles, HR bootlicking, weird dynamics between managers and bosses and co-workers and stuff. Yeah, I'm not putting up with all that. Just give me my money so I can get out of here. Speaking of which, I actually got a letter from my last job. It was just like a summary of what for my job essentially. It was a week. So I think, but on a baseline, you wouldn't expect much to gain from a week of work. Plus, if you work like 2 hours a day, you would expect not to get much, which was my thought when I applied. That's actually crazy because I applied for like, it was like 26 an hour. When I got my contract, it said 20 something, and in the end, I gained like 120. Even when I was on the job, I was talking to this guy about how, what was it again? About how he essentially talked about how he want to get out of this shitty job because most people don't really stay at that job for a long time. Like they just stay a couple months and then go because it's just not sustainable. And we just ended up talking about how, well, me specifically, I just talked about how I actually didn't get paid that much, like from what I've seen on my contract compared to what I applied for. And I was wondering, like, yo, is this legal and shit? It's weird. It's very weird. I don't know what they have going on there. The vibes are really weird as well. The manager was strange. Like you pull up, you say hi, they don't even respond to you, or they just react to you in a weird way, and it's like, and I get you guys are kind of secluded and have this tight-knit community. Tight-knit in the sense where there were like a lot of Portuguese people, and I was and I was explained that fair amount of Portuguese immigrants pull up here to work. Those kinds of, I guess, service jobs, you know, like cleaning or whatever. But it's like, damn. Okay, I get that all of y'all just only speak Portuguese, and I'm kind of the stupid new co-worker or whatever the fuck, and that I don't speak a lick of Portuguese, and y'all don't really give a fuck. But it's like, damn, at least say hi. Kind of not expecting much. Is it bad to have expectations? Sometimes I think that to myself. But maybe you should have expectations. I mean, considering the world we live in, considering the kind of people we are, think it shouldn't be all too harsh to have expectations for people. So when I suppose expect a high, I doubt that it's like morally fucked up or something. God, the slow-mo is hell, dude. I've been saying this, but I really just want to get this over with. Also, this morning I had several ideas for projects. There was a series of drawings I made that I haven't shown or posted anywhere, but it's like a series of, I guess, chimeras. Well, not really. It's more so like the body of an animal replaced by the body of a human being, with the head of the animal remaining, and then the flip side where it's the head of a human and the body of an animal. What I did is that I played around with that kind of concept by creating kind of a prey and predator dynamic where there's the human head that eats the animal head. And I made that for school, for like a lesson where we could like be pretty much free with how we create whatever. And so I made that, and while I was making it, people were very kind of unsettled about it, thought it was weird. Some people told me it reminded them of Attack on Titan, which was really interesting. Some people even said that it reminded them of as if I was making like what's it called again? Like vegan propaganda, like trying to spread veganism essentially. Like there were a lot of interesting perspectives surrounding that. So while I was under the shower, I don't know why that specific series of drawings popped in my head again, but I just thought about it again. I thought, yeah, damn, this could be interesting if I animated it. Because if I were able to, like, this is still an idea I love a lot actually. If I were to expose it to a larger audience on my YouTube channel, it could make some interesting reactions. I think a lot of people would be very unsettled considering the previous kinds of projects I've made, especially if I start by making a project like this off rip after releasing Sakuga Test 3. People would be like, bro, did this guy get hacked or something? Like, what is he going on? Like, what is he going through right now? Like, I mean, that'd be like that's what I would imagine to be the main reaction, I suppose. Just people being kind of unsettled and having unexpected, just mixed reactions probably. But that's what I like, because that necessitates people to get to ask like what they're looking at, what it is that makes them kind of disturbed. Because obviously, well, maybe not for everybody, but for my point of view, it'd be obvious to think that I would not advocate for stuff like animal cruelty or something, and that depending on how I direct this animation, it might try to spread a message in a certain way, so it's not like it's not like just shock value of some sort, but there's an actual intent and purpose in what I try to depict on the screen. And that's why I like the thing regarding the different interpretations where it said people, it reminded them of Attack on Titan, or I guess get something against veganism, or the most interesting one, which I hadn't even considered, which was like I guess how would I say this in a, I guess, appropriate way. It's more like it's a predator thing, but not the animal kingdom predator, you know. So like somebody who preys on young children, the power dynamic between the two. And I wish I could show them. I think I scanned the drawings, so I have them on my hard drive, but I'm not sure if I could find them, and I want to focus on this animation, so maybe another day I'll show them. But it was very cool, very interesting what I drew. I don't know how the idea came to me anyway, but I liked it a lot. Maybe it came from ST3, now that I think about it. Because I thought about Chimera. Yeah, so we were assigned a certain theme, certain topic, and we listened to, like, art schools are weird, bro. We listened to like 7 minutes of like people making, I guess, animal bird noises. Apparently this was like some art piece or whatever the fuck, you know, why people are weird. But yeah, based on that, it just I guess it just directly reminded me of chimeras, and so I thought about making a mixture of just simple chimeras, except that I didn't know how to draw chimeras, and I didn't know, not like the mythological one that is like a combination of a goat, a snake, and an eagle. I don't know. But rather I wanted to create my own. Except that at some point I just lacked so many. Like I lacked references. I tried looking everywhere. I'm also pretty bad at looking up stuff. Like that's like a skill I really need to hone, especially considering how I tackled this project right here, because I barely used any references for this. But I guess at some point I was kind of stuck until I came to the realization where I could just use humans, and that's when I came to create like these drawings, which look really unsettling. And yeah, that was just like one of the few things. No, I don't know. Like that just, yeah. I guess that's the story of how I came to the idea. And I think it would be interesting to expand upon it one way or another. But I guess I still find I guess, how do you call this? Like, I don't want to say sexual assault, but yeah, maybe like grooming allegory or whatever of some sorts. I think it's very it's an interesting approach. God, the slow-mo's hell. Okay. Plus I keep messing up with the hands because I don't know what to do with them, and they look kind of weird. But I can't wait. I really want to expand on that project, because I had a different idea for a bit now, for over a month or something, which I didn't necessarily expand upon because I wanted to go off a feeling, but I didn't really know how to express that certain feeling. But now that I remember those drawings that I made, I really want to get back to, like, I just want to expand on that rather. It inspires me way more. I also want to, for this project too, like, once I get into the pre-production phase, I really want to get into researching it more compared to different projects I've made. So I have a hard time figuring out how to research storytelling. Is it like how to pace something, how to just properly tell a story where people still remain captivated of what you're trying to express. You know, all these elements that make the story compelling, especially a short one at that, because I'm not trying to go for 3 minutes. That also implies I have to learn how to draw animals and humans and stuff, how to animate them. But I guess for my idea, I just have to commit to it. I don't think that's fundamentally an issue. Just something to consider. So either way, I will have to do research one way or another. And that's cool because that means I can spend more time on the pre-production. Let's say, like, I see it in a way where I can just completely focus on that, and as I'm expanding on the pre-production, to not over-convolute myself as well, I can also research how to just draw animals and humans, and on the sideline learn about anatomy. So I can just simply give as much time as possible. Even kind of find a visual art style, maybe bring back the 3DS into photos and animate over them, that kind of stuff. That would mean, well, that would mean I would have to animate in a 4:3 aspect ratio, which kind of sucks, but, well, no, it doesn't suck, but I mean, at some point you have, I like the aspect ratio, but at some point it just kind of becomes a gimmick. It's an animation. I feel like it's not in itself necessarily an issue, but it does feel like I'm kind of limiting myself in terms of space, which shouldn't be the case, but that's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, I don't know what else to say really. I just can't wait to work on this project, to be honest. Like later on, because obviously I'm getting sick of this one. I can already start conceptualizing it, honestly. Like, not gonna lie, I'm low-key craving some snacks. Things already spent a couple bucks on pizza and some candy I bought the other day. So I might kind of avoid it. Thing is, the sun is shining. Might be a good time to go out. All that shit. But honestly, yeah, I should spare myself from that. Sometimes I wonder how this video is gonna perform, because considering that I haven't posted in over a year, I feel like some people have forgotten about me. My video does, like, well, one video still keeps getting traction for whatever reason. Like, it went from between Christmas and now, it went from like 500k to 700k. How the hell did that gain 200,000 views? And it might sound like a long time, but it's just the fact that it even gained 200,000 views itself, no matter how much time it took, is really baffling to me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just look it up real quick, just to see the numbers, because it makes no sense to me. Yeah, Doshi. It's at 765,000 views, bro. Then the other parts that I made from actually learning how to animate, like the third one, is at 166. Where's the second one? Okay, the fourth one, which is kind of a flop because of the sponsor that I forcibly put in there. I honestly regret making that video, if I'm being honest. Like, it's pretty. What the fuck fuck does acting and basics mean? I'm gonna change that title, not gonna lie. Yeah, the fourth one sucked, if I'm being honest. And the second one, which surprisingly surpassed the third one, because it used to be the third one that had more views than the second one. But the second one is at 181. The other one's at 166. And got the first one being at 765, dude. Sometimes I can't even cognitively associate these kinds of numbers with me. Because it's like I'm looking at somebody else having those kinds of numbers and not me. Does that make sense? Like, it's stupid. Like, it's stupid. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm scrolling right now. I'm seeing people who are kind of copying my swag. Obviously not mad at them, but it's interesting to see people really writing word for word, actually learning how to animate it, volume 1. Then you have somebody else who referenced me referencing a Matsumoto cut. Interesting. Another person saying saw Obi Sone, an animator, and Doshi makes such videos, so I tried doing the same. Yeah, learning animation. Another person learning animation, inspired by me. Any Yuki's animations, shout out any Yuki. Somebody inspired by me, drawing Luffy. This is stuff from 2024 as well, which is interesting. Obviously you don't see anything, but I'm just scrolling. No, actually, let me show it. I've seen that guy on Twitter. Like, I saw his tweet random on my algorithm, and then I supported him real quick. They also use the same music. So the thing is, okay, yeah, the first time learning how to write anime, that's cool and stuff, and using a JJK character, like, it sounds like I'm the only one using a JJK character on a thumbnail, right? But why did you have to use the same music? Like, yeah, obviously, okay, wow. Shocker, people use Nintendo music in their videos. That's like the same song. Like, come on, bro. Obviously, it's not like I'm claiming to put Nintendo music in front of animation studies. So, I'm gonna dial it down. Yeah, I'm not gonna take credit for that, obviously. So what's up with these Hercules statues? I looked up Doshi. No more results. Yeah, I gotta change that. I actually used to see that statue a lot on Pinterest. At some point I thought about just drawing it. And in fact, I think I did draw that. Like, his head. Jesus, I'm a cringe. Why did I do that? Drawing white people statues. Makes you think I used to be very I was unaware of it, but a lot of my old art was very white centered, which I kinda dislike. Could look back on my drawings I made when I was like 14, just looking through, and it really makes me realize that to what extent representation matters actually. Because to me, I used to see people being like, oh my god, I need this character because he needs to represent me. I used to think it was kind of like dumb. I don't know. Like, it didn't matter to me, but seeing people being so persistent towards having representation, it's like, bro, can't you just kind of represent yourself or something? Like, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it until I watched Spider-Verse. And that really changed a lot, and I was like, bro, Miles is that nigga, like, for real. And yeah, like, it was great. And I'm glad that I watched that movie, and I'm glad that it changed my perspective on representation. Maybe it's also because you have this, like, black nerd who ends up being who gets transferred to this prep school with a bunch of people who just doesn't fit his kind of people he wants to be around. Despite being a nerd and being by default, like as expected, to be outcasted in a way. But he was kind of cool in his neighborhood though. So there's that. And then he gets responsibility for being Spider-Man and all that shit, and it's like, damn, Spider-Man can be black? And again, then you get to this whole anyone can wear the mask stuff, which is also pretty inspiring. Like, it's a really great movie to show black children, honestly. Very inspiring, very dope. You know, aside the fact of how fire the movie series even is, it's just one of those aspects that I highly, highly appreciate. And then talking about the second movie, having characters like Hobie Brown and stuff, teaching you about the black British punk scene, which I was absolutely not aware of at that point, if I'm being honest. But seeing and understanding what being punk actually means, even if it's coming from a movie of a multi-million dollar company, which is like as capitalistic as it gets, it still taught me something. And I'm surprised it didn't ruffle any feathers for anybody else, being like, damn, this is what punk is like. I feel like the issue in Across the Spider-Verse is that by having Hobie Brown and being this character that has such a the most unique style and aesthetic in the whole movie, and especially the times that we're living in now, I honestly want to call these times the desensitization times. I want to talk about that later, but having Hobie Brown being this overly, having such a strong aesthetic, and making us pretty much like he's like a walking person but he's like a walking catchphrase. That's how it feels. Because, you know, at some point he keeps saying, like, I don't believe in consistency, I don't believe in the government, I don't believe in groups, I don't believe in... Sometimes at some point he says, I don't believe in comedy, and then he says, just kidding. You know, it's funny when you really see it that way, but... And I'm not sure if I'm really pushing this too far, or if I'm kind of driven, I'm not sure, but... It just gets to a point where you think, okay, so is he being made fun of right now? Like, are people making kind of light of the punk movement? Because yeah, he's like in his intro he said, I hate the AM, I hate the PM, I hate labels, all that stuff. But again, it does feel like when I really think about it now, because I never made that thought process by now, I feel like. But it's like more like as if he is a caricature of punk, of being punk, and it's not a strong and disrespectful and blatant stereotype or caricature, but it does enough so that you don't fully take it seriously, I feel like. And he's still one of the coolest, you know. He got to and respected in the fan base, because, you know, he got to help Miles and justifies everything that Miguel stands for. He didn't even stay that long for the movie neither. Then he also, and then in the last scene he says how he's going to quit and leaves that watch away. He even, as far as I'm aware, he wasn't even responsible for helping when with the watch thing and everything. You know, so he's liked, he's beloved, he's not being made fun of, but he's like, well, could I say a black token punk person? That's kind of what it feels in the lens of watching a movie hosted, presented by a multi-million-dollar company, you know. Also, I remember at some point there was some criticism that opened up regarding the movie, where people asked the question of whether the movie was propaganda. Honestly, to this point, I haven't watched that video. But back then, I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. The movie is fire. Like, stop adding your bullshit. Like, how would that even be possible? Like, I get it. Like, Martha's father is a cop and shit, but how is it favoring cops? And but now that I'm less ignorant and I'm still waiting for the third movie, I am curious as to what they meant back then, and it could be reasonable. I don't doubt that, but just surprised to hear, I guess, a rhetoric like this, because I really can't make the connection. And usually when I hear these kinds of claims, I usually try to take a step back and really assess what it means, what connections you could be making it with. But in this case, like, nah, I don't know. So I might watch a video later regarding that. But yeah, can't wait for the third movie. The leaks, just the leaks alone, make me smile so hard. Oh man, the interaction between Miles and Prowler Miles, it's just nuts. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. What I find interesting is that people, despite watching the entire second movie, still think that Miguel is somewhat in the right, but it's kind of like Miles is kind of Miles being in the spy society and all that stuff. It's kind of the very definition of defiance of what Miguel claims as to be the canon event, because at the end we do see that Miles' father in the different universe passed away. So I feel like in the new universe as right now, Miles and I don't think that's part of the canon event. It shouldn't be, at least, because his dad is still alive, and he became Spider-Man by accident because the spider that bit him wasn't supposed to be from that universe. Like, we know all this, but it seems like people still have this idea that Miguel is right, which is to an extent kind of fair. I mean, I guess people, but that's the thing, people play by the rules. And you know, even if I kind of called out Hobie with all that, the way he was represented in the movie, I feel like even him being part of that spy society temporarily, something that shouldn't even be a thing, like something that shouldn't even make sense, like a punk being part of a society that lives by certain orders and rules and all that stuff. Like, by punk definitions, he shouldn't even think about joining something like this. I think even him being there is kind of a sign that the movie is meant to show you that you shouldn't abide by those rules, no matter how, I guess, predestined it appears to be. It's actually not. It's supposed to tell you that you, like, no matter how much the odds are stacked against you and how much you are convinced that destiny is meant to be and set in stone, I things are still in your, there are certain aspects that are still in your control. And I guess it's trying, and I guess people like God trying to tell us that it's, you can't change anything. If you change things, it's gonna fuck up everything. But I guess, in the exception of Miles not being, like, he just doesn't fit the mold in the Spire Society, at least. And oops, what did I do? Oh, I didn't want to do that. Wait, hold on, I need to check something real quick. Okay, I low-key thought I just doxed myself. Alright. Okay. Yeah, just Miles being, like, there's just such a fair amount of aspects surrounding the canon event and how Miles kind of fundamentally defies these things to the events that happened to him. That make me think that, yeah, like, he isn't supposed to, like, his dad isn't supposed to die and all that stuff. And yeah, like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just that I guess I like, no, honestly, I would rather just follow the moral that the movie is trying to tell us, which to me, which from what I'm understanding, although I'm kind of assessing it right now, is that you should kind of find your own destiny, like define your own destiny, like really define your own destiny, and to not fit the mold, and to define your reality even if you don't fit the mold, and defying other perspectives and outside sources and powers that tell you that you are supposed, that specific thing is supposed to happen to you. And I guess your active job is to just properly deny it, not be like on some cope shit, but just keep things as, like, keep things your own way, having your own lane, essentially to be yourself. That's how I see it. And to not necessarily play by the rules. I guess rules give you a good sense of organization and whatnot, but I truly believe that there's more to it. There are more to rules, which are how you define them. It's not like you, as an artist, you exclusively draw references. At some point it gets boring, you know? Like, thank you drew the 50th Pinterest girl that looks in the camera like an idiot. And yeah, you have honestly impressive skills to be able to recreate that image using pencils and whatever, like all that stuff, and it's cool, but just at a certain point the question really remains to be asked, which is, can you do more? Is that, like, can you do more than just that? And it sounds condescending, if I'm being real, and it sounds like I'm trying to dismiss the skills of other people, but that's kind of how I feel. And I kind of just tried using that example because I think it's a good example to illustrate following certain rules, even if you're not aware of it and nobody's actually telling you to follow certain rules. Because the idea really is just, if you only draw references from reference, I don't know, like, there's nothing more to, because you're not adding anything to yourself. And at the beginning you always have to, I guess, you just end up trying to learn. Can't really escape it. At some point you kind of have to learn the rules. You know, as as pretty much all artists say, it's like you have to learn the rules in order to break them. Like, and I feel like if we confine in them for too long, that's where they kind of get you, because you're just being rewarded for being a slightly, being rewarded for being a very much slower printer, but at least you get recognition for it, for putting effort in your stuff. That's cool, but like I don't know what else to say about this. Yeah, it sounds pretty condescending. I don't like talking like that. But that's pretty much how I feel. It does seem harsh, frankly. But it's really, truth to be told, that's how I'm perceiving art at the moment. Wait a sec. Oh, it's this one. I guess I'm gonna... Yeah, wait, shouldn't I have... Actually, I'm not sure. I'm gonna use that one in, which means, wait, yeah, I need to let me put it here. Well, I'm so confused. Wait, do I? Do I ease in or ease out? Wait, because when I easing out. No, I have to ease out, because I'll have to yeah, let me do these on 3s and the rest I'll do on 4s probably, because you have this right here. I might overshoot maybe at the end with one arm, I don't know. Then I'll do this, yeah. It's gonna be corny what I'm about to say. Also, I'm tired of the word corny, for being real, but there are people on like Bad Proxy's ass because he made a tweet saying like he was on Slayer's ass again for no reason, as he just always is for whatever reason. And then he said, like, I'm not even sure if I should say this, but yeah, no, actually, yeah, he said unprompted, just Slayer rape button. Obviously that's weird as fuck. So apparently it's supposed to be like a joke. Frank, like, I'm not. It's like one of those corny, weirdo, edgy jokes. It's like people used to write this hashtag where they said rape Netanyahu button or some shit. Obviously he deserves the worst, but I don't know what I can even say about this. Because the thing is, people think that it's supposed to be like they say these kinds of pretty, I guess, messed up kind of things. But I play it off as jokes because oh wait, no, I actually have to put it here. They play it off as jokes because to them it's just funny to say these kind of things. But when you call them out for saying like weird shit, it's like justified because they're saying it against the weirdest, like the worst person ever. But I believe having that kind of corny humor to begin with makes you a weirdo. I don't care who this is addressed to, even if it's Netanyahu. And I know it's weird, but like I don't know how to explain this, but it's like you, even in making this, I guess, joke, oh well, the same song, even by making this jokes, I can just clearly tell that you actually don't give a fuck about anything that's happening in Asia right now. In Gaza and Palestine, everything. You don't really care about it. You just want to make you unfunny. Israel, GPT, Netanyahu, Epstein, Diddy, them lame ass jokes over and over. Don't it gets funny at the 678th time. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like we get it. We've kind of understood the punchline, which isn't what. There's not even the punchline. It's just shock humor, like shock value. Nothing to be. Like there's nothing great about that. But yeah, I guess that Matt Proxy dude is like on that type of timing, because this was apparently not the first time he made like those kinds of corny, weirdo, edgy jokes. There was like one time apparently it was like live on YouTube, I think, and he made like a joke about, I think, like doing weird shit with children. He was like, "Oh, guys, I'm joking," and shit. It's like, at that point, I just thought, why am I even conjuring any thoughts about that guy? Like, them underground niggas are really some of the weirdest people. It's not even just weird, it's just like, I just looked at it and it's like, that guy looks like a grown man. He's like, I think he's like 19 too. I'm thinking, sometimes I have to think back and think like, that's the 19-year-old? Like, there's no way. Like, I'm 22 now and I'm thinking, I was not like this when I was 19. I was not. And I guess at some point you have your weird edgy phases or some shit, which I can't fully justify, if I'm being honest, because you shouldn't be on that type of bullshit to begin with. But whatever. But at the age of 19 to be acting like this is crazy. And so it makes it even worse that he's a JPEG Mafia fan and he got co-signed by him. It's like, damn, bro. So how do you go after Slayer's ass for shouting out that whack ass K-pop group? Which, yeah, fair enough. I mean, like their ensemble, like that chorus K-pop group, like they fucking suck. Like, what can I say? It does feel like their songs sound like fucking blackface. I'll be real. But it's so what I find about his reaction, like Matt Proxy's reaction so strange, is that so essentially he got like shouted out by one of the group members, and he said like, "Oh, chorus, okay, yeah, shout out to them," all that stuff. And on the stories he like tried listening to his music, and then on one of them songs he said like, "Yeah, never mind, this shit is ass," and he got like jumped for it from K-pop groups, from K-pop fans. And I guess, I suppose coincidentally at the same time you had Slayer going, shout out chorus. Like, I highly doubt he was aware of what was going on, because nobody gave a fuck about fucking Matt Proxy, bro. Like, come on, bro. And the reaction was so strange, because I don't think he would have ever had that kind of reaction. I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy that I still talk about this, but he would have never had that kind of reaction if it was literally everybody else. And with that, I honestly believe that, like, it's a kind of another reason to dislike that weirdo, because it's kind of, it feels like he doesn't even stand for anything he talks about. How can I explain that? It's like, bro, okay, side note, well, main note technically, but I wish you could copy and paste things easier in here. Like, this is why I want to just switch to Umo Pen. Because honestly, it's getting annoying how you have to kind of drag out the layers here. Why is that even separate to begin with? Like, this is stupid. Honestly, it's a bad system, I believe. But so the reaction that Mad Proxy had towards Slayer was so strange, because people, I think simultaneously, people were also on his ass, and he wasn't having any reaction whatsoever. And when Slayer said something that didn't even pertain to him directly, he tried saying some shit like, "Oh, nah, he a coon." He's like niggas like Slayer are like, hey, what the problem is, like he said like some shit like people like Slayer are like issues as well, because I don't fucking know, because they contribute, like they're like some coons or some shit, or they contribute to the same kind of issues, all that stuff. Can I say coon? I mean, honestly, why is that even like a bad word to begin with? I think I need to do some research, because some people are some weird shit, and it is warranted to call them out for that. So why is that an issue saying that? But I need to look up the definition, honestly, and the origins. Anyway, yeah. So he tried justifying that kind of hate that he had for him by saying all that weird shit, like being on some. Like, he really tried, like, he was dead ass, I hate using that term, but he was dead ass LARPing on some Malcolm X shit, being like, yeah, nah, like, people like Slayer are the issue and all that stuff. Like, they're part of the problem. And just, I don't even know when that shit happened. Was that like last month or something? He just kept being on his ass, bro. And there's nothing justified about that, mind you. Like, you had Slayer saying jack shit about him, because why would he? And it was just targeted harassment for no reason, over some whack ass situation these niggas were arguing over a K-pop group. No, actually it was pretty one-sided, but this nigga was arguing over a K-pop group and a white girl, a racist white girl. Underground's in shambles right now. The thing regarding the white girl, like, there's this corniest TikTok girl who is kind of like, it's called Sleepy Puppy, and she she makes these videos trying to imitate rappers in the underground to prove that it's easy or some shit. Now, obviously people thought it was weird as fuck to do that, and funny enough, even after all that fucking Malcolm X ass rigmarole, he was actually in one of her videos, and tried doing that shit. And also, in the end, Slayer also tried asking if she could do a video of him as well, because I suppose he used to think it was pretty funny, hearing people try to imitate their style accurately or of some sort, even though she fucking sucks. And I don't even know why these grown black men advocating for that shit. It's whatever. But it's just funny because you had this Matt Proxy nigga trying to defame Slayer for having videos with that Sleepy Puppy girl, even though, like, he tried to flame him because Slayer asked her to make a video about him, even though Mad Proxy was dead ass in one of her videos, like, straight present. making an imitation of his music. So it's like, why even bring that up if you had those the skeletons weren't even in the closet. They were like on a TikTok feed. Like they were right there. And so that was just all this whole thing. I feel like at this point most people kind of stopped giving a fuck, but he kept bringing it back in a way, indirectly, because at any given opportunity he just started like just throwing shade at Slayer like an internet troll, corny as fuck. And yeah, like and I guess they are beefing now for no reason. Like it's so petty and corny. And at some point, yeah, just like with the YouTube live he did where he said like some weird shit, I think there were other stuff, and also the Slayer rape button tweet where he got exposed. Like some stuff came out about him. Obviously wasn't like on some weirdo shit like, you know, 9 Bishop, but still weirdo regardless. And the only time, oh right, that was also the other thing, pure irony. So he was on tour, he was doing concerts and shit, some shows. There was a live with this other UK rapper called Fresh Boy Swag, and it was like some white kid, I guess, yeah, a white kid from the UK. And one of the in that live he just ripped out, just cleanly ripped out a nigga. And you had Matt Prox in the vicinity, like right him, his own man's. He was there, just laughing, doing jack shit, being on the sidelines like that. And if it wasn't public, and if he hadn't been exposed for anything, he would have let that shit slide. He would have never replaced him, because he kicked him out his tour or some shit. Replaced him with Wayland, another white man, by the way. So it's like, how can you accuse Slayer of all that shit and then just blatantly be on that kind of timing with white people? And what's funny is that when that happened, there was a tweet of Slayer where he posted just the frame of that one guy. It was a pretty viral video, like the skit of how people pull up to you when they find out that your like one of your friends is accused of like sexual assault allegations and stuff, and then he walks into the store and he says like, oh, and like that's your man's and all that shit. It's essentially like poking fun at the person. And yeah, like pure irony. Like, what can I say? Ugh, damn, that's not like, this is on force. This is the last try I'm making here. This is long, by the way. It's been 2 hours. Yeah, so sheer irony. Mind you, the whole time while Matt Prox was just tweeting and posting Instagram stories, Slayer hasn't said a word. Just like every time. Like he all he does is just do his shows, drop his music, interact with some fans and all that stuff. I guess he's like a serial tweeter, which is like an issue of which I believe, but you can do whatever you want. He's a grown-ass man, but regardless, like just like the group containing of people like Lucy Petrock, Pretty Fun, Ego Break, 9 Lives, I don't know, but like those people, they don't beef, they don't do that weird internet shit where, oh, I'm gonna start creating artificial beef with you so I can get my clout up. So it's just strange to see how much hate he gets all the fucking time. It's so weird, especially from artists alike in the same scene. What the fuck? They're treating him awful. They're treating him like he's just public enemy number 1, just cause the nigga fat. What the fuck? They want to smash their favorite artist or something. Some weird shit. Um, but yeah. So the whole Slayer rape button. I'm so happy that people finally got on his ass. Cause really, Matt Proxy, and this is kind of my theory. I truly, with the two people that he clowned on for by now, it truly feels like he only goes for easy targets. Cause what the fuck is a fan, or what the fuck is a K-pop group gonna do? Cause they're not gonna do jack shit. Like, what are they gonna do? Think they're just gonna be with some fucking American? They don't even necessarily speak the same language. Or are, I don't know how good their English is, but they're not gonna like clash back and forth with an American rapper. I don't know how they go down in Korea, but like, come on, bro. Like, what can I say? It's just pathetic. Obviously, he had so much flack for them. And it's crazy too, because in this, or at the same time, you had Jane Remover. Jane Remover always gets into controversies for whatever reason. Well, because she's kind of a weirdo too. But she also got a cosign from that group, and she said, "Nah, them niggas are ass." Nothing came out of it. It's not like she went after Slayer's ass for shouting them out. But as I said, you just go that the Matt Proxy dude is just like going for easy targets. And honestly, I believe that's kind of a trend that I'm seeing in the underground. And it's not specifically going for easy targets. It's more so just, I don't know what their weird ass culture is. You know, we used to beef people, like people used to die for this rap shit. Nowadays people just argue on Twitter and send petty messages and subtweet each other or get mad over some real petty shit. Kind of goes to show how childish they are, but it's like, my nigga, damn, just drop your fucking music, bro. How is your shit not buzzing enough that you have to beef with some fat nigga who makes anime music or whatever the fuck? Like, I'ma call it as is. Like, it's like, yeah, Slayer, like, you know, people are on his ass because he makes like anime music or some shit, or people sing Corey Kenshin or RDC music, whatever the fuck that means. It's like he's still doing his thing, he's still dropping, he still has fans and whatever. You know what I hate too? Side note, is when people defend Slayer and they have to flex his success. Some shit. They always say, yeah, but he still got more money than you, and it's like, bro, why, as a grown man, are you flexing another man's success to own another person? Like, this, you could never catch me doing that, respectfully. But that being said, but it might sound hypocritical and kind of contradictory, but I truly believe that it's like, my point is essentially like, he's just minding his business. Why are you on his dick? And this might come off as dick riding too, but I just don't understand this culture of ooh, this is nice. I just don't understand this whole culture of hatred. There's something I thought about the other day regarding this kind of hate that Slayer keeps getting. And I truly believe that we're living in the absolute worst times, and Slayer couldn't have blown up in the worst times as well. Because imagine if Uzi had come out with P's and Q's today, or a song like Sasuke today, or anything, like any artist like sampling anime shit. Well, actually, it depends because Slayer is fat, so and he doesn't look like he looks unconventional, quote unquote, compared to the average underground rapper. But what can I say? It's like, why? Like, I don't like just how aggressive they are. That obviously makes sense. Like, because I've been talking about this for a bit now, but I just think it's horrendous. I just think it's awful. Let me just freestyle here real quick. And I believe, and even though it may sound as dick riding, but I believe at the end of whatever this is, whether it's an era or I guess a moment in the underground or whatever, I really believe that Slayer is gonna remain vindicated one way or another. Because the difference between him and other people in the scene is that, one, he doesn't beef, so he isn't burning bridges or anything. Two, he has a cult following, like a cult following, like fans that really write for him and really mess with what he's making. Like he has a fan base that touches many different kind of subgenres and cultures of people, whether it's anime or I guess rock fans, all that shit. So it kind of broadens his horizon when it comes to not only what kind of genres he explores, how experimental he's trying to get, but also what kind of fan bases he attracts. So we have, like, I guess the best example was the Kasane Teto thing, even though that ended horribly because of how racist everybody ended up being. But still, he has versatility. He has a lot of versatility, which could cater to a lot of people. So I guess in the long run, and due to the fact that his music is also so unique, it's also pretty palpable, and is something of it's a product of its time in certain aspects, but in the long run, I think albums like Blood Lux and Half Blood, and probably his older albums too, if people explore it, including me, will talk about it and be like, damn, what the fuck was this guy on? Because I could dead as like turn on Astroworld and still be entertained by that shit and not pretend it's ass just because it dropped 8 years ago, and I suddenly have to as long as he keeps his composure, more or less, and he doesn't let the hate get to him. And he also keeps building connections. That's a very important one. Because what the fuck do you mean? You just get the files. Like, not only do you get in contact with underscores, also you got her fans just being like cool with you, sampling that song, fucking with it. Obviously, them still preferring the original song, but just having that sense of connection, just running so smoothly. I just think that's like very valuable. Like, he's not here to create any enemies, not being stingy, or when he made that featuring for Bax's album, reaching out, or when he made that featuring with Trim, which is like the first time I heard of her. And honestly, I'm probably not gonna listen to her songs, but just the fact that he goes out of his way to even do these kinds of featurings, it's just like, damn, this is dope. So just communicating, keeping like people in his circle close, whether it's like actual artists like Lucy or Pretty Fun and all them other guys. Like whether it's the actual artists or the fans or people outside of his inner circle. It's like people like underscores, I think stands for. I don't know what other people he meant. Or Tiffany Day. You know, all, like that whole hyperpop corner. So he's doing a lot of stuff that people don't really consider are to be important because they're all busy running with gimmicks and like provoking people over some petty bullshit. But like I don't think they really realize how valuable it is to create all these kinds of connections. Obviously, it doesn't have to be like quite fundamentally intrinsic. Like he's not creating to get like intrinsic benefits. Obviously, it's to make homies and to work on shit together and having a mutual, I guess, love for and compassion, support for each other, and to keep the music scene alive. As influences he borrows from and or whatnot. So like, is he the only one doing this? I mean, you also have Lucy collabing with certain producers and artists and stuff, people in his circle, potentially outside his circle someday. Because I bet there are some features that he wants to make with certain people and all that shit. But I guess for me, Slayer was like the best example. And I doubt that people outside that Lucy Slayer Pretty Fun circle, like it's not like nobody did what they did, what they're doing. Obviously people collab between each other and all that stuff. Just all that beefing, that petty shit, hopping on Instagram live to beef with the niggas, like to address some bullshit and shit talking and mad negativity. Like that shit's not cool. That shit is like, none of that is cool whatsoever. And it's so crazy because they get caught up in those kinds of things for so long that they will not even realize that in the grand scheme of things, it not only won't matter, it might potentially also cause, let's say, I guess maybe some damage to the image of the underground or what people are expecting from the underground. But for them as artists, it just won't stay because they will remain to run with these just pointless and meaningless gimmicks just to end up having nothing. And those who just kept the craft in the forefront did their thing, and now they're vindicated. But right now, I suppose trying makes you trying to make good music, trying to make things compelling, putting effort into things makes you a try-hard or a burger or a loser and all that shit. And yeah, I guess we are truly losing the plot right now. So most people, rap in this day and age has become like a get-rich-quick scheme. But now we live in an era where it is now it's almost like you have to find a certain niche, a small group, a small circle or subsection of something in order to blow up there. And since the underground is the most compelling and attractive one and the most profitable one, people flock on into that, and and it's so easy to be good at. It's so easy to be at the top because you don't actually have to do anything. And it might sound ignorant because I don't even make music myself, but just comparing it to different times when the underground was just had different phases. You could at least say that some people tried, some people made stuff that was truly interesting and that people were attracted to. Even though it was unconventional, it was still something else. It was still something that people put effort in. Nowadays it's like let me just drop a bunch of bullshit and hop on Instagram to be with a random guy for no reason, just because they were like slightly petty in my Instagram DMs. Like, it's corny. It's ridiculous. Strange times we're living in. I blame it all on the world of desensitization we're living in. I truly blame it on that. I don't think there's anything else that explains the way people behave nowadays. It has to be the fact that people are so desensitized now. Sensitized in the sense, multiple senses where, in multiple senses, that also pertains to their ears. Because they had to convince themselves so much that something that is asked is actually so good to be, I guess, called ahead of the curve, just because they missed that one opportunity where they could have been vindicated of Cardi's whole lot of red apparently being good and the public changing their opinion about it. That they have to stick to that gimmick. Like, it's pathetic. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm supposed to have to stick to that, and now every time some whack shit drops, they just have to dick ride that shit just because it's different, just because it's new and you don't get it. Wait. Man, some strange times we're living in, don't we? I want to extend this, but that means I will have to move everything. That's pretty annoying, so I might do it in the post-processing, well, rather like editing part. So I could just freeze a frame and then extend it. There was something else I wanted to talk about regarding the underground, but I guess, yeah. People need to up their fucking standards, dog. Like, there's no way. I don't know. No, I don't know. Well. I don't know what I want to talk about, but what can I say? I guess it's weird, bro. And I watched an interview from Lyrical Lemonade with, I forgot the interviewer's name, but it was an interview with Pretty Fun, and he said that he was gonna release like a couple projects and stuff. Matter of fact, I think he's gonna drop a project like next week or something, or this week? I don't remember, but he's gonna drop a project. And when that interview happened, that was like a month or two ago, and he said that he was gonna drop that project because niggas have been doing nothing but bullshit. And he's also in agreement with the fact that people do nothing but just copy everything and not being creative and dropping bullshit. And so he said like, yeah, okay, I need to step in because y'all niggas y'all just doing dumb shit, like just nothing compelling. wasn't great. Like I gotta step in. And honestly, I don't even really like. Might be weird to think, but I don't think I really like pre-fun's music that much. I can listen to some of it, but it's not something that I would personally turn on the whim. Also, I haven't listened to much of his music. I listened to some of his music, some of his songs that like feel like Uzi, which I'm kind of conflicted about because, you know, this whole homage shit, which I won't even start. But wait, let me turn this off. But the song was cool. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I guess it doesn't go as crazy as I would love it to go. Would love it to be. But it's fine, of course. I mean, obviously I wasn't gonna like everything. It's like on music. I think it took me a bit to really get used to it. There are some songs I really fuck with now. Like G6 Anthem, that shit is fire as fuck, but it took me a while to listen to it. I think maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe I should have started listening to on music before Fête de la Vanille, because that album was much more interesting to me, like that EP. But I mostly listen to Sisterhood as well, because it's kind of a good mix between the styles of Fête de la Vanille and music, in a way, because there's a strong emphasis on rap, and he does his little runs and he sings and everything. But yeah, at least for music, it took me a while to get used to it. So I'm glad that I listened to Sisterhood. I also like Amy. Amy's so organized. Like songs like Altruism Kills and Sweet Picture are like probably one of his best songs. And he has a lot of really good songs, honestly. Just that it's unfortunate that sometimes I really want to like on music a bit more, but plus there's like way more songs and stuff, but there's just too many songs to me that are just skips to me. So yeah, like I find it unfortunate. I really wanna like that album, if I'm being real. So yeah. Yeah, the underground got it all the way backwards. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. And fuck Mad Proxy, like for real. Thing is, I haven't listened to Trojan Horse. I was kind of curious, but I kind of stopped giving a fuck, if I'm being honest. But I think I listened to one snippet on an Instagram post, and it did sound pretty interesting. I'm gonna be real, like I'm not gonna act like this music is suddenly ass just because he started beefing with my favorite rapper for no reason. He's a cornball, doesn't stand for shit, and beefs with K-pop groups, and is a hypocrite, and lets himself get ridiculed by a white girl. You know, but that doesn't take away from anything from his music, unless his lyrics are just as bad. Well, I do tend to associate the art that the artist makes. So I don't know. Maybe one day I will listen to it, like Trojan Horse. Also, I still don't get. Oh, actually, I do, but it's funny how. So interesting how people gassed him up for his underground cypher verse just because of how different it was compared to the other, like I don't know how many other people there were, but having like the majority of the cast being dog shit to have a random nigga rap on a oldies sample, like I just don't get how people gassed up by that. the beginning, and then you know he did that whole beat switch and you know gimmicks or whatever the fuck, and it's like like regardless, the thing is, artistically speaking, he did something pretty interesting, which was that to, I guess it was like a shift of not only subversions, but also, I guess, satire on using oldies and oldies sample and rapping on it and being on some like making fun of the people who are like, see, this is that real rap, not that mumble crap that these artists have nowadays, you know. So you have that, which subverts to a more, I guess, modern beat as we know them nowadays, but also making kind of fun of the scene by putting so much emphasis on the bass and shit, where it becomes so inaudible, which to an extent represents the type of bullshit that is being made in the underground. So very satirical, very pretty solid commentary. I just hate the fact that it comes from a lame ass nigga like him. So otherwise, I probably would have been interested, because even despite the fact that he is a fan of JPEG Mafia, I wouldn't have expected that to bleed into his personality too. Because you really don't gotta act like a cornball. Like there's nothing difficult in just being nice and not being a cornball. Like what can I say? Truly, what can I say? Oh, what the fuck? Whatever. Yeah. Wait, what? My sister about to have a baby. I'm on Twitter, my fault. My sister about to have a baby and she's getting a C-section, like the album C, like the Lucy Bedrock album C, like C. Okay. There are GTA 6 leaks now. And there's a video of one. It's a build from 3 years ago apparently, and they're at a strip club. That shit is running at fucking 20 FPS. It's like I'm watching Ocarina of Time gameplay on the N64. Like, what am I looking at? Probably whatever. Also, I can't wait for Lucy Bedrock's album. He dropped a single, I guess, this morning for me, and it was nice. It was really nice. Like that's like the sound he had for that. The sound he had for that single was sort of what I was expecting, but that's also because we have already heard the sound that he was about to go for because of the SoundCloud drops. That being said, I need this nigga to drop Erase Your Social on platforms. That shit is that's like, I've said it already, but that is one of his best songs. He has too many good songs, honestly. Like if you I don't want to say that whole ears train thing, because that also contributes to that desensitization. But if you like that kind of music, if you like, I guess on the baseline, if you're an underground fan, but also kind of deviate to other genres, because obviously they don't just listen to underground rap. But if you can put up with distortion and loud mixes and all that stuff, I think he's like one of the best to make to execute that. And that's just, yeah, he's just good at what he's doing, and he truly has almost no misses. But yeah, also he made an album cover for his 2 singles that he released, well, one that was completely new and a different one that he dropped on streaming that he kinda updated. And bro, the cover looks fire, bro. Hold on. I love it. He also got much better at drawing too. Like, does he just draw during his free time? Like, did he draw it himself? I think he did, because you know, I guess I could say it's wonky, but it serves its purpose, like the circles here. But it's incredible. Like, this looks really good. Like, really good. The background as well and all that stuff. What does that say? Oh yeah, MC Bedrock, Speed Demon, White Horse. Yeah, White Horse Mannequin. I really can't wait. It's 4 right now. I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking craving chips right now. Jesus Christ, bro. Looking at the Demon Slayer cut, they're like A, B, C, D, E, F layers. They're A, B, C, D, F. There are 5 layers for one cut. And all the in between quote, like all the timing charts and shit. Like, goodness gracious, look at this. My God, what the fuck is that? Every frame? This is some shit that's in Richard Williams' book. Like, who wants to animate that? Like, that ass. I'm already fighting for my life with this shit, and this takes me like a huge amount of time. And I remember seeing, like, there was like one cut that an animator made for Kachiakuta, and it looked fairly simple. And it was very short too, but because of the complexity of the characters and the specific movement that she had to animate and whatnot, that shit took her like 2 weeks to animate. 2 weeks? What about this then? Like, what? Who wants to? Nah, like that. I love my animators. I love all my people. I love the people in my community. But fuck you if you really think I will ever put up with this shit. And I know, like, I respect your work and all that stuff. I don't fucking know what I even want to say. I'm just thinking, I don't know. All I'm just thinking is that I get my absence, and I get it. Maybe I should have communicated these or something, or remained in the community. I don't fucking know. Or done more animations. I don't know. And I don't know what kind of expectations all the people in the animation industry have, but I promise you, you will never see me animate some bullshit like this anytime. I don't wanna swear it on everything as of now, because chances are I will probably do something like this someday. Especially for an anime like Demon Slayer. I mean, it's not even the issue that it's Demon Slayer, but just the fact that it's like an action thing. I'm not really fully into it. Mind you, this is not even the correction, because as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing nothing but differences between those two cuts. Or maybe it's kind of I'm illusioning myself or something because of how it's framed in the final product and in the Genga, but or maybe it's a different frame altogether. Either way, my nigga, like, what are we doing? Like, the position here is different from here, right? It has to be a different frame. I don't know, but bro, like, bro, wait, what? Peak drawings, MX version must to enjoy those white drawings. That's crazy too. You really have to watch that shit in IMAX to get the whole frame without any problem. 16:9 version. Key animation of this frame drawn by Hideki Hosokawa while taking ideas from Abe. Shout out Hideki Hosokawa. I don't know. You don't even get paid well for that shit. Like, I know for a fact. this will, okay, yeah, putting all that whole I actually, oh, that's dope. Wait, oh, she's beautiful. It's crazy, as at least when I was in the community still, and I didn't take that fuck ass hiatus that I'm taking right now. From like the takes I used to hear regarding animators were so conformist. Even back then, it just left me sort of confused and kind of mad. And I have a lot of things to say about this, because okay, where do I start? Okay, first and foremost, animators, you niggas need like class consciousness or something. Like you guys need to develop class consciousness. You might have to read Marx or something. I'd be willing to read Marx. I've never read a single Marx book because I don't read, but y'all need to read like some fucking communist manifesto to see how fucked up what kind of fucked up capitalistic situation you are in. The same niggas who complain about how, oh, they have to work like 2 jobs at the same time and submit a cut in like 4 hours time for like they have to submit like 15 cuts in 4 hours time while they're working 2 jobs and shit. And once you tell them like, yo, this industry is kind of fucked, they just say, yeah, it is. And that's it. Move, bro. Like, if you see there's an issue, then do something about it. And it feels so conformist because they are aware of the issue, but they don't do anything about it. And obviously, I'm not saying it's everybody, but that's just the general consensus that I tend to just not only, I guess, feel, but people just stay immobile. And granted, you could say, I mean, granted, it's like, what can they do? But obviously they can't do much. But I'm just simply thinking that they at least they just have to do something, or at least abandon this weird conformist attitude. And I can really this I guess I suppose thesis, I can really split that into 2 directions. One being how artists perceive themselves, especially online, and how the Japanese perceive themselves. And since we're speaking about animation, I suppose I'll start with the Japanese, which is a bit briefer because I'm a bit more compelled of the other side, the other thesis. But considering the fact that the web gen is heavily influenced by Japanese production, anime production, you know, everybody's following the Japanese pipeline because the Western pipeline is kind of dog shit, and they expect like some crazy shit for all of you, which the Japanese do as well. But they also have like you have like more freedom and whatnot, and you know, people are fucking weep, so obviously they're gonna go for the Japanese pipeline. However, I feel like with that influence also came the influence of being so conformist. I remember, because, okay, as an example, I remember there was one tweet that I made where I was like, I think I said something along the lines of, artists need to stick up for themselves more, and they just have to feel more proud of expressing how much they are good at what they're doing. Because I don't see a lot of people doing that, or they just downplay their skills. And I saw one comment, there was one comment that says, oh, I suppose people don't really do that because the Japanese are kind of, you know, have this humble personality and all that shit, and I suppose everybody just does it. And it's like, back then, I would have just said, yeah, fair enough, I mean, it's a culture and shit, and although it does kind of bother me, I suppose I can't say anything about it. But if it comes to, like, right, like, as of now, I feel like the world is too fucked to use that as a justification. So you get paid pennies for work worth diamonds just because you don't want to make some fucking chairman mad that you're good at what you're doing? Like really put this into the perspective. Like, make that shit make sense. You are downplaying yourself actively just because a grown ass man, or let's say, I guess, a culture told you that you're not supposed to, I suppose, brag about your skills. Like, that's the way I'm seeing that. And with that attitude of just simply keeping things low key and just conforming, they can essentially do whatever they want with you. Obviously, you're just gonna say, yeah, I mean, I suppose I can work overtime. Yeah, I suppose I can just do cuts that you just submitted to me, like, on the last fucking second, just because, you know, I just have to conform to it because that's culture. And yeah, I guess I have to suck up to all the old people on top just because they are supposed to be. Because they're just supposed to be. With that comes with the whole thing. With that just comes this whole thing of being exploit and just exploit of the people who are truly passionate about this shit. And that's a really complicated battle, because you would have to, as a foreigner as well, have to dismantle a system within and tell people, like, yo, you deserve love too. You can love yourself, you know, and you can be proud of your work, and you can deserve more, all that shit. But but it's like that kind of shit just doesn't get accepted, I suppose. Like, they just don't give a fuck, and so people conform with that. And especially the Japanese, obviously, because they live there. But I remember there was a post that went viral. I think it was a couple months ago on Twitter, where there was like a report of an animator that got paid like minimum wage, but it was so unsustainable for the cost of living. And this was around the time where there were more tweets popping up from different countries, because Grok had this thing, the AI on Twitter, that would automatically translate tweets, and you had Russian people reacting to how Japanese attitude to the attitude of Japanese people regarding all that stuff. And Russians were like, yo, what kind of pussy shit are y'all on? If y'all don't start a fucking union or something. It's like, yeah, like what? Like, they wouldn't have, like, they wouldn't have accepted jack shit in Russia if they would have been abused like this. And it's not to glaze Russia and shit, because they're also on some bullshit, but it's like, dog, why does a guy from a different country have to tell you how you should live, or how you should do things within your own country, just because you're so, I guess, you're so cucked that you just accept everything that happens to you. I don't know, like, it boggles my mind. In the animation community, this needs to be addressed more. There are too many people who are too conformist, and I will address that. Like, I know I'm doing this in a kind of cowardish way, doing it in a secret stream on a secret account on one of my on my 26th stream of this regarding this project. But the reality is, like, yo, I mean, no. Later on, I will want to address that. I will want to use this channel and do this mix, like this simultaneous post. I don't know, like collab thing that YouTube did opted in a couple months ago, where you can like link your different account, different channel with your main channel, whatever, whenever you post something. So I want the conversations to be had, but I also want to research them properly, because I can't just talk about shit that I am not actually properly researched on. So these are pure observations, and even those observations alone would just rattle me enough to even talk about this kind of stuff. Now, so yeah, I just simply speaking, like, folks just need to lock in, and in Japan especially. And I don't see it getting any better because they just elect the conservative prime minister who just does nothing but whack shit in the country. It seems like just absolutely useless. But yeah, so that's the thing with Japanese people. I thought it was gonna get shorter, but it appears that there was much more to talk about than I expected. But now on the flip side, and that's also kind of in correlation with the Japanese people, but it's the one that I've always been very, very upset about, is artists online selling themselves short for no reason. I mean, there's reasons to it technically, but it's just this. But just by defining what I even mean, it's this thing of this phenomenon of the online artists just selling themselves short, in the sense where they, talk about their social anxiety and how socially awkward they are, and they can never do anything by themselves, and oh wow, they can't order any ketchup from McDonald's, and or ask the cashier if they still have I don't know, like, just the public speaking is complete dog shit for them. They can't do anything. They stay at home. They just draw, and they infantilize themselves, saying that they can't do anything. And it's like, because of my social anxiety and all that shit at the age of 26. And it's like, bruh, like, at a certain point you look, we can take it seriously, and it's a reality. Obviously, I also have social anxiety, but I've gotten better at it. But I don't think that's, or at the very least, I've gotten good enough at it to not let it affect me to a very strong extent. Either way, it's okay to have these things, okay? It's okay to have these things. Obviously, I don't mean that you're not supposed to ever have them, and if you do have them, you're a bitch. The only time you're, like, that's not the issue. You're a bitch if you let that shit consume you. In the sense where you just believe, like, it's the whole Myers thing, the whole Spider-Verse thing. Stop letting your self-imposed. Oh, I love this thing, by the way. I hate this self-imposed destiny that those artists online bring upon themselves, and they just simply accept that this is reality. It's like the same playbook for incels, or rather red pillars. Well, it's kind of the same thing at this point, but just accepting the way things are without changing anything about themselves. And it's not accepted in the sense where I am flawed and I will live as such, and I will not feel shame upon the fact that I am flawed, and even if in the slight chances that in the future, like in the very often chances actually, I feel ashamed, I will not back down, and I will proceed regardless. It's not that kind of acceptance. It's really just, damn, I'm very socially anxious. I can talk to people. I can do any of that kind of stuff that other people do. I feel secluded. I feel different from others. I guess I don't deserve anything then. I guess it just gives me the cool excuse to live a sedentary life with against my own will. Emphasis on that, because you can live however you want. My issue is that you, to me, it's like you can live however you want as long as you decide the lifestyle that you've chosen. And it's not like I'm perfect. I still have some flaws to deal with. It's just that in the art community, like, it can happen to anybody, obviously. Like, to live sedentary, to have this anxiety and all that shit. But what I hate in the animation, in the art community in general, is how that behavior gets normalized, and how it's like, yeah, I mean, you have to, like, you just end up imposing an archetype to yourself for no particular reason other than the fact that you're an artist, and oh wow, yeah, I also grew up anxious and whatnot. So being an artist, I guess I just have to be this way, and also be since I'm in a large community where most people are like this too, like a lot of people are like this as well, gives me an excuse to not do anything. But I'm reading some bullshit anyway. Hell no. My fault. Yeah, so, and something I fell for too, because back then, when I was a kid, you know, when I was like a teenager, and my dream was to go viral with my art, because I thought my art was actually good enough to be seen by others and whatnot. And I had this obsession of trying to post like every day to go viral. That was during a kind of a transitional phase as well, because I was entering adolescence and everything. So seeing the community of, you know, people my age or slightly older or sometimes even adults, just conforming this mindset and this way of thinking and trying to make that shit seem funny was pretty impactful to me, though. I think about it, just the way how I perceived art. I can talk a lot about that shit, especially how people treat sketchbooks like art books. That was like probably one of the worst ones, and it took me like till 2023 or 2024 maybe to realize for myself that, hey, not every fucking page on my sketchbook needs to look like an artwork, and it doesn't need to look like one from an artwork. But that is what I want to say. Yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it just impacted me way more than it should have, and that attitude truly impacted me, and to a certain extent, I really have the art community to blame. And I'm happy I'm not young anymore, like not like 13 or something in the current day and age, because it has only gotten worse, dog. But I'm kind of sidetracking because I tried kind of getting into the main point I wanted to get at, which is that giving that attitude, that just not necessarily conformist, but that giving that how do I say this? Just if you stay that way up until or throughout adulthood even, and you truly expect to make it in the art world, you are cooked. Like, you will get criticized and suddenly you just piss your pants and say that, oh, that teacher was so mean and shit. Yeah, no wonder. Because you can't stand for anything. You don't, like, you don't, like, you don't have a single backbone. And again, I'm not saying that it's easy to not get criticized. Like, it's not easy to get criticized, because always some things could touch you and all that shit. But I don't know. I just think that if you really want to get opportunities and you still keep up that digital artist gimmick at your grown age, it's like you're cooked. And that's why nobody takes digital artists online seriously, because to everyone there are just some bunch of weaklings who draw their silly drawings in their corner. You know, at least contemporary artists make some bullshit, but everybody, well, it depends, but they are to a very certain extent taken seriously, because they take themselves seriously, because they mean this shit with what they create. They are standing 10 toes down with everything that they make. Bro, digital artists online, yo, fuck them. Like, 'cause they post something and they say, oh, actually I don't like it, actually I hate it, and every time it's so just even downplaying yourself. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up and just say your shit was fire. When I post this, I will stand 10 toes down and say, yo, this shit is this is like one of the best things I've ever made. I mean, like, without a doubt, obviously the best animation, like fighting animation, action animation, whatever I made, because I haven't done many, of course. But either way, I will still say that, yo, I cooked, and nobody can tell me shit about that. Anybody. Like, bro, like, fuck, bro. And I need that attitude more. I can't see my mutuals or just people, artists in general, to conform like this. You are better than that. I know you are. So just stop. Like, please stop. Also makes me think about the people who stopped drawing just because of the rise of AI, and it's like, there's no way you're that weak. Dead ass. Like, I'm tired. I don't have, like, I've come to a point where I lost a lot of sympathy for artists online. And this cut was long to work on. I just realized I was done with it, which is why I'm still stalling on it. But okay, it's truly, like, this is why it's like, this is why the industry keeps fucking us over. Nobody's doing shit to make things any better. Everybody's so conformist. Nobody's trying anything. They keep setting themselves up for failure for no reason, because they still have to keep up with this socially awkward artist gimmick at the age of 27. And I keep raising up the age. I know I said like 26, but I will probably repeat this and just keep it up, because there should just, you know, I can't keep doing that. Even the people in the institution that you are passionate in are cooking you because of how little of a backbone you have. Like, art teach, just like, you are passionate about some shit, you just let yourself get your ass whooped. To an extent. Or better yet, you just let yourself beat up because the thing that you're supposed to believe the most in, you just stop believing in just because some old ass dude told you some shit is ass, and now you're just crying in a bathroom because it said one bad thing about you because you never took the time to actually develop any kind of backbone, like any spine. Like, I'm sick of it. Like, I'm sick. It's grown people influencing even younger people to keep this kind of defeatist mentality, and I'm not with that at all, whatsoever. Same people, by the way, hopping on platforms on TikTok and shit, just spreading nothing but negativity, nothing but hate towards beginners and shit, saying yeah, give up, and harassing them. This whole Doki Doki Literature Club thing with the girl getting harassed because the characters look like dudes, still insane. And I don't even disagree with the people who say that they look like dudes, because I do believe that aside from Yuri, they do look like guys, in my opinion. And people thought the excuse of, yeah, people when they see anime proportions, or like the people when they see real life proportions, they need to touch grass and all that shit. It's like, I'm not gonna kid myself, like, I do believe they kinda look like guys. Some of them, at least. I'm not gonna exaggerate it, and I'm not corny either, but just all that, just like, does that truly warrant that much hatred coming from the same people who are like socially awkward and weird? Obviously, like people from outside throwing flag and all that stuff, but I don't know. It's just whack. Reminds me also of another time where I think it was also a tweet that Aniyuki quote tweeted, or maybe I quote tweeted, I'm not sure, but and I think I talked about this, but there was like an artist on Twitter who got scammed from a what's it called, commission from somebody, stole that shit, didn't pay anything, and ran that shit through AI, just like that. What did the artist do? I guess a call-out post. Anything else? No pushback? Nothing. Because that's how artists are apparently supposed to be. Like I can't, like, I'm not with that shit. I can't entertain that. And the more I see this defeatist mentality, the more it gives me more like motivation to even to just be so upset about them. And maybe shaming them isn't the best solution, but it has become so destructive in the art community that this kind of reaction, I'm sorry, but it's just simply warranted. What the fuck am I looking at? Bro, this is scary. Like this whole sorority thing in America, where you have nothing but like a bunch of blonde white girls in front of some weird house. They're like dancing in front of it. Oh hell no! It's scary. It's very scary. You have a quote tweet saying American sororities must be more hierarchical than a Bronze Age civilization. You can clearly tell which girls are more important in this video. Okay, I'm not showing it. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah. I think when I come back, when I also feel like it, and I'll probably fall into the trap of the second channel being more active than the first channel thing. But I am getting, I like doing commentary stuff, and I kind of want to put more effort into it, because I don't want to just post like every fucking day talking about some random shit. More so, I want to do more research, and research doesn't mean looking up TikToks, but like, I don't know, like maybe talk to people, do more try to look up maybe statistic of some sort. Try and make a full assessment of the information given to me before making a grandiose conclusion about something. Just simply, I would like to make commentary regarding the art community without milking that shit to death. Reminds me of that one YouTuber. I think he's like, maybe he's Nigerian, but I don't know. But he's like constantly on TikTok. Like he had some videos going viral, but he was constantly like, bro, like, fuck Twitter, bro. He was constantly talking about like random TikTok drama shit. It was true. I hate that term as well, but it was true slop. Like, you could deadass binge just like a bajillion videos of his. It would be this. It's like you would watch the same video every time. Just truly pointless at some point. And I actually watched some of his videos and I kind of messed with them until I realized how repetitive and boring and pointless they were. We saw a lot of frames, bro. Sheesh. 31. How many out there? 20. Oh no. 27. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, I would love to I just need to talk my shit. I'm sorry. And it's great because recently I watched like a video of a guy who went back to drawing. Like he's like in his late 20s and he's like married and shit and has a job as like an engineer, I think. But he got back into drawing and spent like 3 years just studying it and drawing and just doing all that stuff, and only started posting recently, I think, maybe a year before, just because he was kind of insecure and not ready in posting stuff, which is fine. Maybe I'm paraphrasing, I'm not fully accurately talking about the situation. Either way, he made one video where he, just like me, kind of criticized the art community and how people say that, oh, they actually don't like drawing or they're too lazy. That's also one thing, just a thing where people keep saying this shit like, oh my god, I actually don't like drawing and I hate studying and all that stuff. And honestly, me too, which is why at some point I just stopped drawing. But I hate when I have to run this gimmick where it's like, haha, the artist who never posts. It's like, dog, like because I would just admit it without having to mention it, because that's just how I run shit. And I have my own shit going on, and I have a life. Kind of right now because I'm unemployed in summer, but I got as soon as I start school, like I got shit to do. Like life becomes a bit more active again. Either way, like he criticized things from front to back, and I liked it because he didn't provide any I suppose strong sympathy either. Like he's just he just told things as they were, and I truly admire him for that, because I like it. I like the way he addressed it, because you could genuinely feel that it came from somebody outside of that community, hopping into it, missing out on mad shit that happened in these kinds of these kinds of communities, and being like, what the fuck are y'all niggas on? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, real talk. Like, isn't that the shit that you're supposed to fuck with? Isn't that like your hobby or something? What are these weird ass random drama that you're getting into? Like, you know, just being very warrantly critical. Very happy that he did that. Because it really needs to be called out. But yeah, and I suppose if I happen to make commentary stuff one day, I believe he's gonna be like a good inspiration. He's gonna be inspiring me a lot, I believe. truly. So yeah, but I need to raise my voice up because I can't witness this kind of shit anymore. Also, just generally speaking, how negative people have become, I can't stand that either. None of that, really, like none of that shit. Oh yeah, that's right. I might honestly just wait. No, actually not. I'm not sure I'm gonna copy this. I suppose I'm just gonna make maybe I can just copy and paste and make it like a thicker border. No way. Whatever. So yeah. I also was inspired to talk about this whole artist whatever thing. So as I was not able to sleep last night, and I kept scrolling on Instagram Reels, there was one post about, like, at some point I just kept getting like digital artist shit. Not insufferable, honestly. But there was one video of a lady who said like 3 things that you have to stop when you're like as an artist, that you have to stop as a grown artist. And it was like, you know, the same thing I talked about, like, you know, self-deprecation, giving up, or whatever the fuck. And yeah, and she also put a lot of emphasis on the fact that you have to communicate with people and go out and shit. And obviously, you had all the people in the comments going, "Oh, but this is such a privileged take," and you know, whatever the fuck. Yeah, this could be debated upon, but these niggas be pissing me off because they haven't done jack shit in 8 fucking years. So, like, lock in, bro. Like, I feel like the same neutrals I've been seeing. One of the mutuals, the same sort of people that I've been seeing, same archetype, or sometimes the same person I've been seeing since I was like 16, just have not changed whatsoever. Like, lock in, bro. Man, I hate that. Like, that ass, I just don't. There's nothing. Like, there are very few things I like about the art community. And I also, which is why I prefer the animation community. As I said, these niggas need class consciousness. Very important, because the shit that I just like I talked about, but this shit I tend to hear, but it's just, I used to hear was just kind of ridiculous, especially in defense of coming, like, especially said in the defense, expressed in the defense of old niggas in Japan who don't give a single fuck about you. You know, so that's that. Obviously, they're gonna get criticized, but I still love the community because of how not annoying they are compared to like, obviously there can be controversies and shit, but they're just not as obnoxious as the art community on Twitter. No, just the art community in general. Like, across different platforms. Just on TikTok they are pretty ridiculous and pretty messed up, so. My finger's twitching. It's like a muscle. It tends to happen to me sometimes. Also, if I kind of exhausted, I don't know if I want to continue. I also have to make the present still for my friends. Got like 2 stacks of pages left, because you have to do like separate pages in a way, and sew them together. Sew them together. So I gotta do that and think about making the cover. Still have some tissue left, which is very good. But I should be done. I should be done with that like by, I would say Thursday, honestly. But let's say Friday. I'd rather finish on Thursday because the birthday is on Saturday. and that gives me more time to just continue finishing up this shit. Now, yeah, guess that's pretty much all I had to say. And I could nag on about this for even longer, but obviously there's no point, because at this point I'm just gonna cry and whine. So yeah, I'm kinda hungry though, and I'm still craving chips. Honestly, if I'm not gonna say it, but I don't want to spend too much. Also, I have to find other things to do actually that I'm kind of procrastinating on. So I'm gonna have to log in. Shoot. It's actually crazy how I freestyled this. I didn't think it would end up looking as good as it does. It's pretty hilarious. I'm gonna animate the aura thing, maybe for these frames. So then he's gonna, yeah. Yeah, I need to go to the toilet. Honestly, yeah, I might finish soon. I'm just happy I got to get this done, this long stretch done. And then, okay, I have like these other scenes. Oh my god, these slow-mos are gonna be aggressive. I don't think I'll be able to finish this like before Friday, or let alone this week. Honestly, if I'm done like by Monday, that'd be cool. So I can get straight into the miscellaneous stuff I have to fix and add like the impact frames and everything. In that case, I'll probably just directly reference from an anime, because just straight up copy from a reference, because I can't do this shit anymore. And I'm very bad at effects animation. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, like all the miscellaneous stuff, like what I'm doing right now, I'm really doing from memory, because honestly I have no fucking idea how I'm supposed to find references regarding those specific kind of poses. However, when it comes to like, as I said, miscellaneous stuff such as effects and all that stuff, I will, like backgrounds, I will, wait a second, I was wondering why, like there was an issue. I will just trace that shit. I don't know what the fuck. But yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about actually was, you know, at the same time I had this idea of this human animal chimera shit, that animation idea that I had, I thought maybe when I drop this and stuff, and you know, I'm done with the rollout, I suppose, I could probably make like a live stream breaking it down and then sell the file on, I assume I will probably make a Patreon. I have so many ideas. I also had a different idea, which was to, so I had the idea in my town to, well, in the next city actually, but in the city, to meet up with some people, some friends, like some newfound friends, I suppose, to do like a how do you call this? Like a watch party, yeah. To make a watch party for the people to see this animation for the first time, and with that idea, under the shower, or like recounting that idea, I thought, yo, what if I just organized something like pertaining to I mean, I suppose artists in general, like a thing, like hosting something, like an art, I suppose an exhibition. Yeah, at the end of damn it. Yeah, at the end of the day, it ends up being an exhibition. Because the thing is, I thought I could make something focused on animation, and invite animators or people who make, I guess, like video adjacent projects, and we could do shit, I suppose. Ah shit, okay. Wait. Oh no, we good. Okay. You know, and make like animation adjacent stuff and present them and do like some sort of seminars of how we made the animation and shit. And it doesn't like, it's not just like a exhibition thing and or like a vernissage as you know them in art spaces usually, but an actual like function, you know. And you can have people pulling up, leaving tips for the support, like brings stuff to eat, all that shit. I think that could be really dope. Just obviously I need to think how I could really organize that kind of stuff, but really just make a chill spot with a small budget, maybe borrow a place, because one thing that I kind of hate about opening exhibitions, like art exhibition openings, is that, you know, it's like they just leave you with the pieces, and sometimes even not, they have like etiquettes of the descriptions of the pieces, and you have like the artist walking around, and it's like kind of like on you to pull up on them and be like, yo, who made this shit? Oh, it's you. And they kind of talk and make their connections and all that shit, you feel me? I mean, that's cool and all, but I've always had this feeling that art exhibitions are missing something, you know? Because I feel like, because it's even self-admitted by some friends, but people I know who only go to art exhibitions because of the food. And that's it, because of the beer and the food that they offer. But I want it to be both, you feel me? I want people to pull up and to be welcomed, to feel welcome, to be like, oh, okay, so the somewhat of the primary focus is the work that people have made, but also like okay, actually primarily it should be a place of communion, where you bring stuff to eat, you bring like, I don't know, like games or some shit, people could discuss about stuff, you have like different corners of activities, but at the same time, the kind of like the main focus is to give artists a platform. And so I think it kind of invites people to stay a bit longer, and they spend some time on the art side of things, but then they will probably drift away and get to know people through like a game of Uno or some shit. And I think that could be great. Then you have people serving food, all that shit, you know, like some shit that white people can't really fathom to create, because it's like there's one focus on one thing and they just disregard everything culturally speaking. That's why art exhibitions have always felt naked to me, because I will pull up there and I don't drink beer, and the food is always like some bare bones ass shit, like peanuts, or I don't fucking know. And it just doesn't, like, I would stay there for like 15 minutes there at every piece, because I feel low-key obligated to maybe talk to one person, because in reality I don't really give a fuck. There's nothing necessarily really compelling, and then I just go. And I just go, because there's nothing else for me to do there. So I want to really to feel like, I really want to feel that shit, like feel like this is like a real function, and people willing to bring games, food, eats and shit. I guess it could be like a mini DreamCon in a way. I don't know. Maybe even that seems a bit ambiguous. I mean, it's in the sense where people can also just pull up and just share their personal interests, whether it's contemporary. It doesn't even have to be contemporary art, but just a hub of people who, I suppose, people like me who don't necessarily have a lot of nerd spaces. It also inspires me because going to my like I was at a, what's it called, a convention. I guess in the end that kind of boils down to a convention, isn't it? What I'm trying to create. More or less, I suppose. But now this is complicated. How would I categorize that? How would I make it so that it doesn't end up being repetitive? Tricky, very tricky. But whatever. Now I'm really trying to think about that shit right now, and that's tricky. Whatever. I guess I just need more out of exhibitions. I need there to be a bit more substance, more communication, more friends to be made, and also more talents to be discovered around here, and for people to not be shy and to present their stuff. So I really want to show what I've been making, not just on the internet, but just out here, you feel me? Like, I know that this animation shit can go beyond just that. I don't want to limit myself only on the internet. And truly, the internet can give you a lot of possibilities and everything. But I almost believe that even though you can make money off the internet and everything, I still believe that in real life things can be bigger. Maybe I'm delusional, maybe I'm stupid, maybe I just don't have enough experience to back up that claim. But I kind of have the feeling maybe combining the both could be beneficial. So I mean, we'll see. It's nothing. It's nothing but just random ideas I have on mind right now. So I suppose we'll find out. We'll find out what will happen. And yeah. But I want to keep that idea in mind. Just creating like a space, a hub, a safe space. I guess preferably for black creators. I mean that technically that, well, it does, and at the same time it doesn't exist. Because I want it to feel like most like a community, like a function, you know. People pulling up, got like fucking plastic chairs, got food on the side, just like, you know, like when I go to church and there's like a special day and they got all the mom, like all the aunties and shit making food for a special occasion. That's how I want it to feel. That's how I want it to feel like. Obviously that demands a huge budget depending on how many people arrive and stuff. But because I don't want that kind of stuff to go to, like, if I'm gonna present work from it, I at least want to do it in a special way. I don't want to make it a fucking Tekken trader or something, but just like, yo, let's hang out, and then I'm gonna show you what I made. And I hope you're, you know, I guess they're gonna be curious or interested enough. And I would love to make like small, I suppose, quote, seminars. Well, not really seminars, but just ways, like a way to show how I work on my stuff. And not just me, but give other people the same platform. And perhaps to the point where people teach them how to make like stuff like, I don't know, like short films or crocheting or crochet, whatever. Just different forms of art, generally speaking. For the most part, there are spaces, like those spaces obviously exist. But I kind of want it to be a bit geeky, you know. It's all that contemporary shit, not everybody's interested in it. Most of the time, when you see people pulling up there, it's like, I mean, yeah, you will have like all people pulling up for, like, if there's people like presenting certain things, but for the most part, it's like old people that always pull up, like millennials who try to be as woke as possible, and in the end, they're just gonna make you feel uncomfortable and unwelcome because of the lack of black people there are. Black art as well needs to be presented. Very important to me. Very, very important to me, because I ain't gonna lie, like, the needle needs to move a little. And I need my 50 seconds of fame. Something to think about. I will definitely explore those ideas later on. I don't know how to draw this right now. Yeah, after I'm done drawing all these, I'm done. Like I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Posture's gonna be ruined at the end of this. Well, it already is kind of it. Man, I'm really pushing my body. honestly, maybe I'm putting a bit more expectations. I'm looking at a very broad scope, more or less. Like the whole community thing that I would love to organize. But really, this could be like a small thing, like around town. Like I could just like maybe make some posts on Instagram, say some shit like, "Yo, they're like limited." I don't know. Like maybe do some limited ticket like thing. Make like some, like just not make anything big. Just open up a cool function. Really could be like a function. More elaborated though. Offer some games, all that shit. Obviously I need like space for that kind of stuff. I wouldn't even be sure where to make something like this to begin with, because when I have to borrow a place, it could end up becoming very expensive. Well, yeah, nothing huge to worry about. I don't gotta think about it right now. Man, I'm about to be off this bitch because I don't feel like drawing this before, and I'm destroying my back right now, so W yaps, I guess. I'm gonna stop it here. So it appears that, okay, I made this. Very bothersome that it took so long to only make this, but I'm happy I at least got these ready, so can't complain too much. I made this last evening, I think. What I'm gonna do is that the camera is gonna like move, but gonna have the character like panning to the left and to the right, so you can see him like as if he's getting exposed. What I could also do is like do some compositing where it's gonna be like some, not blending light, but like some ambient lighting, as if it's like the sun or something. I don't know. Something along the lines. Oh, actually, can't do that. There's no, whatever. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm off. Holy. Yeah, pretty anticlimactic. But honestly, this was kind of one of my better yaps, aside from the underground part, more or less. But the artist thing, some ideas I'm making up, future animation ideas, blah blah blah. Yeah, pretty swell, pretty dope, pretty nice. But yeah, whatever. I'm off this bitch.